It's C.J. Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. Downtown is, across from downtown is beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And yeah, I'm not doing any walking around tonight. I'm just gonna stay home, do a little fold up a little laundry. Is what I need to do, really. But it's about 9:30. Uh, I'm not due to eat until midnight. So, yeah. But lots of fun things to do here. Come check us out. Tomorrow there is a concert. I'm going with a group of people. Uh, I'm being gifted a ticket, by the way. Someone had a bunch of tickets and is treating a bunch of people to a tribute, a rock concert, a tribute. I don't know the scoop. I just know that it's rock music, and I love concerts. And I love rock music. I love a lot of different types of music. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and gonna get to do it with a group of people, good group of good friends, and yeah, awesome. So let's see what this is. Oh, my friend. I just saw a text come in, so I was like, I wanted to read the text, but I had these dark glasses on. So. Okay, so yeah, I'm not walking around today. I'm just gonna stay home, do some laundry or whatever, like I said. I hope everybody's having a good day. I did finally get around to finishing posting all of my videos from the cruise. The ones that some of them I tried to post, and they were like, well, there's the lyrics are copyrighted or something. Anything with House of the Rising Sun pretty much got copyrighted. A couple other things got copyrighted and blocked from view in some parts of the world, or all of it. So the musical stuff or whatever. But honestly, I wanted to post a lot of that stuff because I wanted to share the experience with people, but also I wanted to chronicle and remember it, So, and I did try to talk to Carnival. This was weird. It was like, so there's this, we're your personal cruise person. So call us if you want anything. So she urged me to call her. What is her name? Stacy. Urged me to call her anytime that I had questions or if I wanted to book a cruise, because she gets acknowledgement every time I book a cruise through her. Well, I can book a cruise online quite simply. I can book a cruise online without having to call. So if I'm going to go through the hassle of talking to someone on the phone, and an agent or something like that, she's going to get a credit or something like that. I want to help someone out, but if I'm going to do that, I want, I don't know, I want a perk for going through through an agent, Otherwise, if there's not going to be a benefit to me, I can go online and I can do my own booking with Carnival Cruise. But I did call because I did have a cruise in February coming up, and while I was down there, I'm gonna look up some people, the job that I used to work down there, the White Lion Cafe and everything, and I'm gonna drop in on them and say hello and everything. And I thought I'll be down there for a couple of days or whatever. I may as well look, while I've got the money, I may as well go ahead and just maybe extend the cruise or something like that. And on the same ship, the Carnival Conquest, which I won't have to learn my way around this boat because it's almost a doppelganger of the Carnival Valor that I just came from. But the decor is different, but the layout of is exactly the same. So it'll be a very similar experience. Different people, different decor and everything, but the boat itself, same activities and stuff like that. So we'll see. But what the thing is that so I have 4 days down there, or 4 nights on the boat, and then what I looked, there were immediately after that on the same boat there was a 3-night cruise that was going to happen right after that, and it was going to cost per night, because the cruise itself costs more, but it's a shorter. So it basically works out to almost not quite, uh, but almost twice as much, but at least uh, you know, time and a half. Uh, a quarter as much per night or whatever. It worked out. It was substantially a lot more per night to take that 3 night. But then after that, they were doing the same trip. The same. It was going to one of the destinations was the same. That's the Celebration Key. They're trying to direct everybody, and then the other one was. Um, with the first one, the alternate, the first stop was in Nassau, and then the Celebration Key. And so this one, it's going to be the second one that I was able to book. It was 4 nights, but instead of Nassau, they're going to a private island and beach, and then they're going to go to the Celebration Key, which is their theme park thing or whatever. But it's basically in the same neighborhood and of stuff, and so you know. And then the third the three cruise in between, the one that was going to be way more per the night, and I decided, well, I called Stacy. I was like, yeah, are those prices fixed, or if we're doing a longer cruise, will you price match by the night, you know and I think they offer that in case you want to whatever, but it's you know but what I decided to do, because they're not going to price match those nights, it's totally cool. I was going to be in Miami anyway, so what I'll do is I'll do those 4 days, then I will spend about 3 nights in Miami beaches at a resort that I'm aware of, and that's affordable, and actually cheaper by the night than this particular cruise, because Carnival is actually very affordable if you do some price comparison and shopping, and you also want to do it in the time of year, like some like right in the middle of family cruise time, right in the middle of summer. It's a lot more expensive, so you want to shop around, and so anyway, but I just but I'm doing the 4 days on the boat, 3 days in Miami, and then 4 days on the boat, and so it's really going to be fun. That's going to be in February. And that's locked in. It's a done deal. So I'm going. And then, so around that time, I will be posting a lot more cruise, but also we focusing a lot on Miami-Dade, some places where I used to run around. Now, to be honest with you, I worked a lot. I moved down there so I could experience Miami beaches, South Beach. I really did. But I ended up working a lot where I lived in Homestead, which is a small town in Miami-Dade, south of Miami, towards the Everglades, And so I want to walk in, and I want to drop in on the people at the White Lion Cafe. It's been a lot of years. What did we? Oh my God. 25. So yeah, it's been. I think I started working there probably at the end of 2000. So yeah, and I was there for a good 2 years. So yeah, some of the family may have retired by now. Some of the family may no longer be available. They may be on a different coil than this mortal Earth. Some of them may have died or retired or whatever. But I'm just gonna go in and see what's up. It was one of those. Sometimes you find your place in an unexpected kind of way. Well, this was like that. I had a really fun time working there, and I did it for as long as I could. But it really got to a place that it really got to a situation where I needed to come home. I really did, and it was a rough transition. I found myself in a bad relationship. It did. It was like, I don't know. I'm good with relationships for about 4 years. 4 years. This one I didn't even make that long. It was maybe a few months, and it was just like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to find stability when you're not stable yourself. I was not stable myself, and then the person I was trying to partner with was not a stable person. So two unstable people, it's hard to find stability. I don't doubt the sincerity of the feelings that we had, but we just weren't ready to grow up to that point and everything. So I was like, you know, can't speak on him. I haven't spoken to him since I left and came back to Shreveport. But yeah, but we were like, hey, yeah, so the job was ending, and then that relationship was ending, and it was really time for me to come back to Louisiana. I'd been away for oh, I left in '99. I came back at the end of 2002, going into 2003 or something like that. So, whatever, I don't know. It was just, uh, no, that can't be right. Yeah, let me think. Mm. Yeah, 99. I remember because it was at the Central Station, and they played the Party Like It's 1999 from Prince at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. But it was shortly after that. It was shortly after that, like maybe within, not even shortly, because, hmm, maybe around May. Yeah, so May of 1999, and yeah, I must have been down. It must have been a little bit. Wow, I don't know. You know how sometimes your mind just feels like uh, things happen. Like I know that I was in New Orleans for the millennium. Oh wait, let me see. No, not quite. I was in New Orleans for about a year, maybe a little under a year, when I left, and then I went to Miami. So maybe that's what it is. Is I was here. I left in '99, and no, and then I must have been in New Orleans, and then uh, yeah, shortly before 2001, because I think that's when we did the. I could tell you because it was the year that we did that presidential election. They got like totally screwed up, and Florida had to revote and everything like that because they people in Florida did not know how to vote. uh, you know, so whenever that year was, that's when I was in my first year in Miami to live, and then yeah, so yeah, so at least a year and a half. I say 2 years, but I probably closer to a year and a half or whatever. But anyway, no, uh, I was down there for I was working, uh, and there was a passing of a holiday season. I do know that. I do know that, but it was kind of close to the end of my tenure there. Um, so anyway, but it was a fun time. It was a fun time. My mind stretches it out, and I think, oh my god! But it was more like I was away from home. But some of that time I lived in New Orleans, and then some of it I lived in Miami. But then I came home, uh, bounced around Shreveport for a little bit, found myself in a relationship that was going well, but shortly, I guess within about within a year, it really wasn't, and I have no idea how or why uh, it it didn't go wrong. I mean, I was more that homosexual where I moved in with someone. I He had an interest and I had an interest, but I was kind of floating around. And it took me a couple of months to really find my to get back into the local. Here's my resume and I'm working and everything like that. And I didn't always work the same job, but I always worked. And the one time I didn't, I took a job in a restaurant, Copeland's, and that restaurant was crazy. And I've worked in a lot of restaurants. That one was particularly crazy, and it wasn't going to work out. And so I left the job after a few weeks. But it was my intention was to go right back into working. But then Jared asked me, hey, no, not to, because in about a month and a half, he was going to take a vacation to see some friends in Emerald Isle, nearing his summer break, and he wanted me to go with him. And then he said, well, and so don't worry about it, and you'll go to work when we come back. And so we did that, and then I came back, and I made the rounds and worked for the city of Shreveport for a little bit, and worked for about 6 months there. And dealt with a lot of homophobia on the job. It was Shreveport, and it was, yeah, we didn't have the same, but it wasn't work, So, but I immediately took another job, and I pretty much worked consistently, constantly. But I think maybe the main thing is at one point I became like such a workaholic that this was the time period when I was working. Listen to this schedule if you haven't heard this story before in my other videos. I would leave home and I walked. It was in the neighborhood. I would go to a bakery and health food restaurant, a vegan restaurant basically, that also had bakery, stuff, and it was vegetarian, not vegan, but vegetarian. But I would work there for 3 hours, go right next door and work at the dry cleaners for 4 hours. And then go around the corner and work at the Episcopal Cathedral. I put in a combination of, and my schedule, the time I was there, I could do with what I needed to do, but I would work in the kitchen, my primary position there, the kitchen maintenance, and then I would go upstairs where the two of the people had quit, and so I had to do my job plus fill in and do the job of 2 other people. And so sometimes I would be leaving that job about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I had to be at my job, my first job, at 10 a.m. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, it's crazy, We're talking sometimes 12, 13 hours by the time I got home and would get myself together. Now, sometimes, listen to this, sometimes I would take a private catering gig, especially during the holidays. So then we're talking about sometimes working with that independent stuff. Sometimes I'd be working 5 jobs, part-time, of course, but it just took my life over, and it was just, I didn't know that it's sometimes okay to say, I love you and I want to be able to be the person you can come to for this private, but right now I am, my work schedule is saturated. But please consider me for a time in the future. But I didn't know that I needed to give myself a downtime. There was very little time for me to socialize, and there was very little time for me to tend to my home life and the relationship that I should have been working on. And we really just grew apart and became like, because I would be like too tired for any intimacies. And then I needed to decompress. I'm not someone who could just come home in the evening and then take a shower and go right to bed. I've got to spend some time to decompress and everything. And so there, it became, we really grew apart uh, uh, as a financial differences, because he was a higher earner and I was trying to keep up with that and everything. But I mean, I liked him. I care about him. I still do. But yeah, he was one of those when he got you know once you get on someone's bad side, or once that thing starts, once things go sour, it's really hard to put it back. We even tried being roommates, and that wasn't gonna work, because it was like, we have all these emotions and feelings invested, so it was hard to just turn off the partnership and be housemates and a roommate. It's really hard to do that. I'm not the only one that's ever tried that and it's failed, So, yeah. Anyway, I've also decided I'm not really necessarily. It's okay for me to date around and seek companionship without necessarily having to look for a life partner or a marriage or a domestic situation or something like that, because I am the kind of person that enjoys living by myself. I couldn't make these videos if I'm sitting here trying to talk to somebody else, and so but I love to get out and I love to travel, and if you're with somebody, then your schedules have to sync up when you do stuff like this, and you have to, the love has to be there and it has to be real, and it can't be, oh gee, we're both here in the same place, so what the hell, we may as well love each other. It can't work like that on a whim. There has to be sincere love behind it, not just, oh well, we're here, I guess we may as well be each other's person. That doesn't work out, because eventually something will change or whatever, if there's not a real commitment to the people or whatever that I'd be in that situation with, it probably wouldn't work out, and that commitment has to be a two-way thing, and it's awkward. And I'm in my 50s now, so if I met somebody, they'd have to be around my age, but also they'd have to be somewhat physically healthy too. I couldn't get with someone who's my age who has just let themselves go. Although I don't expect perfection, and I am certainly not a perfect person, but I'm still someone who likes to get out and go and do things and have a little life, and so just finding somebody just to get cozy and nest with. Yes, I would like to do that, but also we got to get the hell out and we got to do some stuff. We got to have an interest in movies, got to have an interest in. I tell you, I talked with someone on this cruise. I talked with the guy, and I don't know if I told you about this. He was he was older than I was. He was in his 70s, I think. But the same wife, he married someone. He'd been with her for about 50 some odd years, so he was probably older. Back then people would get married in their teens, by the time he got married. But anyway, I asked him, I said, well, you probably get asked this a lot, so I'm going to just ask the typical question. What do you think is the secret to your longevity in your marriage? And he said, well, first of all, you have to put Christ first. So that's good. But in any way that you interpret it, spirituality is a part of it. I get that. That's what and then he said, they had to really, they went on dates together. They prioritized time with each other. including cruises and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, they prioritized time to spend with each other to nurture and take care of that relationship. So that would probably be a big part of it. That's not coming from me as how to have a successful relationship, because heretofore I do not, nor have I. But although there were some times I thought it was going to be, but there was a lot of I think with Jarrett and I too, it was like for a while we wanted to, even when it worked, even when we felt that maybe it wasn't going to work out, um, we had the same social friends and everything, and although they were his first, but it was still, I think it was a lot of saving face socially. Let's try to, nope, neither one of us wanted to be the bad guy, you know. But then we'd argue and get tumultuous with each other at home. Although I was always a lot more on the defensive side. I really wasn't someone to pick a fight or pick an argument or whatever. I still don't. In relationships, if I'm in a quibble or if I'm in an argument with someone that I'm in a partnership with, it's not me. I don't start arguments. But I damn sure can defend myself, I really can. And I do hold my own. So if someone, is sporting for a good fight, they're gonna get it, But once that starts, it's just hard to turn back from that. So, uh, I would like someone who's had some experience in relationships and that knows a little bit about communication, and also accepting maybe not getting the answer or the result that you'd want to get. Sometimes you just don't agree, and you have to be okay with those times when you don't agree. I want to go here and I want to go do this, and the other person doesn't want to go here and do this. And sometimes you have to take no for an answer, and sometimes you have to cave in and do what the other person, you can't just, I don't know, if yeah, a lot of compromise, a lot of work and compromise. And I can say this because even though I don't have a tremendous success in relationships, who knows what may happen. I do have hope. Someone used to say, "Hope springs eternal." Whatever. But also, I'm totally awesome with just being me for the rest of my life by myself too. If that's what it is, cool. I can do that too. That's what I'm saying. I did decide that it's okay for me to date around and do what single bachelors do. I'm not saying be a skank or a complete I'm not going to be like a man whore about it or anything like that. I still have much respect for myself, and I would have to have respect for anybody that I would choose to be physically intimate with in any sort of way, shape, or form. Sorry to be talking about this kind of stuff, but these are my thoughts. And this is, I want you to know my city and how I love my town and my ventures, but I also want to reach out and make connections with people, and I want you to get to know me. And the way to do that is to be, to be honest, but anyway, this is a Starship Enterprise. My sister gave me the space, the final frontier of something, I don't know. Is it though? Or is the final frontier the internal journey that we all take, the exploration of the self? There's your philosophy and therapy and concert tomorrow night. My friend said we go get to see some entertainment, and I don't know. I'm not going to make a food video because I'm just going to take some hamburger patties and sizzle them up and then throw some cheese on them, But Not till midnight, because I'm still dieting until midnight, and even then, I'm not gonna like ruin. I'm not gonna eat so much burger bun that I'm gonna ruin my keto. But yeah, and then let's see, still doing well with the not smoking, which is cool. That's great. At this point, it's like I don't smoke anymore. I'm a non-smoker now. That's what I feel, you know. And then, yeah. And then, I don't know, some therapeutic laundry therapy is what I'll call it. Sometimes I gotta, like, you know, fool myself into thinking, oh my god, this isn't just a household chore. I can make it fun or something, you know. Mary Poppins spoonful of sugar. Okay, anyway, love you all, truly, truly. I don't personally know you, but I still care for you. We're all part of the same human family, so you know, love and light. God bless. Good night.